Hey everybody, Arthur here with another unboxing video. Today we have DC Multiverse Batman Beyond from the Lobo Collect and Connect wave, and I am super stoked to have this figure. This is one I've been wanting for a long time, so a huge shout out to Ryan Liu because he actually saw them on Amazon for retail, posted them up, and they were up there for retail for a while for you to pre-order it, and Amazon even shipped them early, so it's awesome because I'm a huge Batman Beyond fan. He's probably one of my all-time favorite Batmans, and I like Lobo as well, but unfortunately I have yet to see this wave at all out in the wild, and I don't really have any connection to anybody else from this wave. Like, this is the only figure I wanted besides the Collect and Connect Lobo, and that one, in a sense, I could wait for Storm Collectibles to release their Injustice Lobo. So either way, I'm happy that I have a Batman Beyond figure. Now, as you can see, it comes in that typical DC Multiverse packaging, showing off everything it comes with. The build, the figure pieces are sort of hidden behind here a little bit, except for one head. On the side, you get some artwork that you've already seen on the front. It's on both sides. And the artwork's just sort of meh, meh, meh. And then we get DC logo right there. And then everything on the back. So you have some read-up information on the top, so feel free to pause it if you want to read that. And then we get the big picture of the Collect and Connect Lobo, which looks pretty cool. I really wish I could have built him, but again, I'm not, I'm not a fan. Don't really know or care about him. The Superman, meh. And then Green Lantern, meh. So, I mean, it'd be cool if anybody has any extra pieces, hit me up. We can try to work out some trade so I can build this guy, but only one out of this wave. It's right there, and I'm glad I have him. So let's get Terry out of his box. Terry McGinnis looks amazing out of the package. It is the figure that I was hoping it would be, and it had some little bit of surprises to it. Build a figure or Collect and Connect figure, whatever you want to call it. Lobo pieces he comes with. He comes with the skull crotch of Lobo right there. It's all right. It's painted okay. It's not the best. Skull's very soft looking for it's supposed to be in like a metal skull or belt buckle or whatever. He's got a little metal cod piece right there. So I got that. Then it comes with two alternate portraits for Lobo, and it looks great. But then I got all this extra paint right there on his cheek and stuff. And I just feel like they should have added a wash or something to make the sculpt pop, because the sculpt, you really can't see it too much. The hair is sculpted very nicely, and it looks like it has layers and it has a little dry brushing and stuff, but then it's like you got like the weird bald spot right there. I just don't understand it too much. And then we get the Lobo straight mean muggin. Looks great. You got the goggles sculpted into the hair. This one is probably the one that a lot of people put on their figure because this one looks like it doesn't have the like issues as much with like the paint and stuff, but still, like, even the beard looks, it's rough a little bit, but it's still Lobo. The eyes look good, and that sculpt is there. It's just subtle. They needed something in there to pop it out. Besides the one gripping hand and one fisted hand, we get a pair of flat karate chop hands, and they're done okay. Nothing to write home about. They're not bad looking. They're not horrible. They're just alternate hands. But what I don't get is why we didn't get another fist or another gripping hand, so we could add a couple pairs instead of just stuck with one fist. So he's really only punching with this hand over here, and then he's only gripping and throwing stuff with this hand, which makes no sense to me. I mean, that's one of my biggest gripes. He does come with a plethora of batarangs, and I know a lot of people have complained about this. Now, these things are thick. I mean, they're girthy looking batarangs, and it makes sense because you want to be able to hold them. I wish they were thinner. I wish they were thin like the centerpiece, but overall, they're just not horrible. I mean, you could just say they're not your typical batarang. Maybe they're flat, and when they're thrown out, they expand out because they're going to explode. Like, you can add your own twist to these, but they gave us 4. They could have gave us 1. We get 4 of these things, and I don't mind them. I don't really have many batarangs and stuff to really compare them to and say that they're garbage. So, you know, if they're not supposed to be that thick, then hey, when my Batman Beyond throws the batarangs out, then they expand out because they stick and then they explode. So that's my imagination adding on to those. So I'm not going to be sitting there complaining about accessories, because that's 4 batarangs is awesome. Then we also get a back piece that plugs into his back. We get his wings. It's just a big chunk of burgundy, reddish plastic. I'm okay with it. And then that's not all. You know, we have one more item, and that would be a alternate portrait. This alternate portrait is awesome. I don't even know if you guys can really see the detail. There's got the teeth sculpted, the face wrinkles and stuff. He just looks mean and awesome. And I was surprised, actually, in hand. This is of like not hard plastic. It's like a rubbery plastic. I mean, it's probably to make sure kids are not stabbing themselves with the ears and stuff. But the heads are actually squishy. Not extremely squishy, but they're not your typical hard plastic head. But look at that. That is a mean looking mug, and it is awesome. Now we got Terry up close, and then the face sculpt that's on him is just straight face, keeping calm, cool, and collected. I wish they didn't have the seams on the side of the head, but there is. And the logo on the chest painted pretty clean. I wish there could have been, well, maybe one more layer. I feel like it could have been a little bit thicker, but it's still nice looking Batman logo. One thing I don't like is his back has all the information. Like, Mattel, you could have just put your phone number on the back there too. I mean, this is like a straight up, almost like a business card that you're handing out. Look at all that. That's ridiculous. Plug where you plug the wings in. Belt looks good and clean throughout. The overall sculpt, I mean, is it's plain plastic. So it's like it's all black plastic, very little paint, and it works because that's what he is. He's wearing all black. His eyes are cleanly painted. The chest looks great. Belt looks great. Articulation wise, he can look down that far. You know, that's like sort of his head movement. I don't think it can go any further. So that's pretty much it. Ab crunch, he can get down that far. It does do this a little bit. Some gappage right down there and everything. But doesn't look horrible. And then he can lean back a little bit. Wish the sculpt would have continued up a little bit further, but you know, not horrible. I mean, we've seen worse gapping than on other figures from another company. Belt looks good. He does have the waist swivel, which gives him the bookshelf hips, but is it really bookshelf hips? Because, I mean, his belt's already protruding out, so when he turns sideways, sure, the belt looks a little bit thicker, but, I mean, it's not bad. Not bad at all. So I do like that design. And I'm going to say this right now. They did the legs right. None of that crazy T-jointed, weird legs that they do for their figures. Like, I really like that they did the proper legs, in my opinion, what proper legs are. But before we get into that articulation, I did skip the arms completely. There's no butterfly. I wish we would have had butterfly. That would have been awesome. But, hey, his arms can go up this far. He does have a bicep swivel. He has a single jointed elbow that goes up that far. So we don't even get the proper angle. So that's, could have got that 90 degree, you know, it would have been nice, but his bicep, he's been lifted too hard that he can't really get that bent up. And then his wrist rotates and it has a bend in there as well. See, these aren't really that gummy. These ones are sharp. For his little spikes on his arms. So I'm very, very happy to have this figure. It is awesome. And articulation wise, it's pretty good so far. Down to his legs. He can do the straight up Van Damme. We get the thigh cuts, which work great because all it is just the black plastic. We're not breaking up any lines or anything, so I'm happy with that. We do get double jointed knees, ankle bends, And we get rockers in there as well. So you get to rock those ankles. This figure is awesome. It's awesome. I wish they would have had butterfly effect to push it. Butterfly effect. Butterfly joints. Wow. Butterfly effect? Really? I wish it had butterfly joints. That would have pushed it over the edge. And I wish its head could angle a little bit. But let's switch heads so we can see what's underneath that. Oh my God. Hopefully I don't break it. Oh, that's what we're dealing with. There's no disc hinge whatsoever. So we are limited with a arcade stick. So that's unfortunate. And that explains why the head has to be like a rubbery substance so it can actually pop in there. Busting out the broken old school Toy Biz flight stand, and it works. I switched out his hands, and you obviously saw me switch his head out, but he does prop up on a nice broken Toy Biz stand very nicely, and he just fell over. But either way, I had him propped up, with just this little gap, because when you put the backpack or his wings on him, you can see that right there, it's a gap. Like, you can push that as far as you want, but it will not close that gap whatsoever. So that's something that you do have to deal with, unfortunately, when it comes to this figure. But in the same way I'm saying unfortunately, it does work, because with the broken Toy Biz flight stand, there's that little bit of lippage that works, that it just hooks right under there. So I was just messing with it too much and caused him to unbalance, and then he fell over and stuff. The wings, not too bad. His little flash hands, I don't know how I feel about them. I almost think that they look small. I mean, I could be wrong. They look very, I don't know, something's off about the hands a little bit. But again, I'm not really going to have these hands probably hooked up, and I wish his head could look up further so he could do like a swooping, and he can't really angle that head up, which is unfortunate. The backpack, it is what it is. Sure, could have had a little bit better sculpt and details. Been cool to get some thruster effects underneath there. It would have been awesome. This figure is awesome, and I can really see why he was a sought out figure, because I think this is the best Batman Beyond figure we've gotten. I know a lot of people love the Mezco one, but for price difference, $20 figure, this is one of the nicest looking Batman Beyond figures. I wish we would have got an unmasked head. That would have been awesome. That would have just pushed this over to the edge. And you can see I have him posed up, fist in one hand. He's ready to throw that Batarang. And he poses very, very nice. He is a solid figure. So he has one foot that's flat. You can't see it because his leg's in the way. I'm going to rotate it around. He is just balancing on the tippy toes of his other foot. So posability is pretty awesome. The elbows do lack his angles and stuff of throwing, and his neck, the limited neck articulation, and really the elbows is what really affects this figure a lot. I am going to show you guys a little bit of a tip. So if you're a Marvel Legends collector, you guys have all seen this effect. Iron Man, Deadpool's bazooka, things like that. So it's effect we've gotten tons of. But if you look, plugs in the bottom of his feet, so you can still have thrusters in the bottom of your feet for your Batman Beyond figure. So usually you got two of these, unless it was with a Deadpool bazooka or something like that. You just plug both in. You can have him with his wings out, using his thrusters, and it is awesome looking. And he holds the Batarang very nicely. Like, it's great. It just slides perfectly in there, and you just slide it in like so. Well, slide it in like so, and you can sit there, and it takes a lot of effort and force to actually shake the Batarang out, which is nice. So you can actually play and pose up and do some really cool stuff with your figure without worrying about like the Batarang flying out of his hand. And I think that's really why they did the thickness, because you want to be able to hold onto it. Again, these are, kids are supposed to be able to buy these and play with them. Plain and simple. It says ages 3 and up for this guy. So you don't want a 3-year-old with little things. I mean, I can't imagine having a 3-year-old with this anyway, because, this is like choking hazards and stuff. But it does state that on the box. This figure is awesome. I'm not disappointed with it. It has a little bit of issues, but those issues are not changing my mind and telling me this is a bad figure. This is a must-have figure if you're a Batman Beyond fan. It is awesome. I busted out a Joker from another DC figure I had and have him fighting. He's getting uppercutted and lifted up off the ground from that punch. It's awesome. It's a fun figure to pose, and sure, there's things that I pointed out that could have been better, but it's still a worthy figure, and I can see why people were really wanting to get a hold of it because it's awesome. It's a great Batman Beyond figure. So that sums up my unboxing and review of DC's Multiverse Batman Beyond from the Lobo Collect and Connect wave. If you guys like what you saw, please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new to my channel because I'm going to be pumping out reviews as quickly as I can, and I want you guys also to hit that bell notification so you guys get to know when I post up a new video, because I don't know if you guys see it otherwise. Also, don't forget, check out Toyco Toys and Collectibles. The website's down below. There's a promo code down below that you can get free shipping, so you can get your collectibles delivered to your doorstep. And make sure you join up with both the Facebook groups. You got the Toyco community. Interact with your like-minded fellow collectors, talk figures, trade figures. And if you're new to collecting, ask questions and just mingle. It's a great group to be a part of. And then you also have the pre-order group that keeps you in the know, because it does not hurt to know what figures are coming out. And plus, Andrew puts out amazing pricing that stomps the competition. So if you usually pre-order from like Big Bad Toy Store, Megalopolis, any of that stuff, just check Toyco first, because the pricing's awesome and it gets delivered to you in super crispy condition without you having to pay an extra fee to make sure your figure gets to you in a nice, clean manner. So that's a huge factor and bonus with Toyco. And I want you guys to have the best luck hunting, keep on collecting, and have a beautiful day.